Hey everybody, and welcome to my update video and an explanation of my posting schedule for the channel. In the last week, my subscriber count has grown by nearly 20%, and my viewership in the last week has increased by about 1,500%, which is really out of this world and unprecedented for my channel. Thank you guys very much. This is a bit of a temporary fix for a proper channel trailer, but in an effort to inform my new audience members in a timely manner, welcome to Dr. Dirk's Lore and Let's Plays. Feel free to call me whatever you're able to remember. Dr. Dirk, hell, maybe even Matthew if you're feeling personal for whatever reason. The full name, Dr. Dirk's Lore and Let's Plays, will probably be shortened to just Dr. Dirk by the end of this year, so if you see that change in your subscription feed, don't worry, the content isn't changing, just the name a little bit, to better brand and reflect an identity over a descriptor, as my Let's Plays are more full playthroughs, and over the years, as evident by my A Happy Place deep dive, I've included more lore adjacent stuff, and so it just kind of makes more sense to call it Dr. Dirk instead. For the last 2 years, my posting schedule has been one video a week, every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's fairly comfortable for me and not subject to change at this time. My content is primarily split into two categories. First are my projects, which are the longish form, more in-depth, I guess they're called video essays nowadays. That's always sounded like homework to me, so I just call them projects personally. But they're the videos that sound more scripted and are more cinematic generally. For the most part, those projects are split into deep dives, which is when a game doesn't really have all the answers, or it's more of a game that you want to experience, and lore videos, which are the flip side of that coin, where they do have the answers mostly, and you can tell the story beginning to end without jumping around very much. The other chunk of my content are my playthroughs, which are just me playing through a game beginning to end, and they're as simple as that. Projects take a lot more effort to create than playthroughs, and so the content disparity is heavily weighted toward those playthroughs. I'd guess that a playthrough takes around 8 hours to produce once everything is said and done, and a project takes anywhere between 40 to 80 hours. On another note, I read every comment on my channel, and I heart them once I've read them, so you can know I've read it when I heart it. A heart doesn't necessarily mean a tacit agreement whether I respond to you or not, but represents my appreciation that you took the time to comment something to me, even if it's a wholehearted disagreement with what I said or did in the video. Feedback of all kinds is important to me, and while admittedly my favorite comments are the ones that tell me I did a good job or that they enjoyed the video, my second favorite comments are ones that are able to change my mind or inform me of something, and whether or not you succeed, an attempt is just as endearing. My ideal posting schedule has been playthroughs for every Monday of a month except for one, and to release a project on that one Monday. I do work a job though, and between that and real life, that ideal schedule has gotten more and more muddied over the years. Last year I wanted to do a project video once a month guaranteed, which didn't last very long, and then I wanted to do a project every other month, which lasted even less. Last year around Christmas, I had a coworker have a health crisis, and they thankfully were okay at the end of everything, but I ended up doing overtime nearly every week for about 3 or 4 months because of it. And then similarly, around the time that overtime ended, my grandfather faced the second heart attack of his life, has been jumping over health hurdles every few weeks since then. He's doing alright, but there's a lifestyle change that's required when you have a newly dependent family member that I'm sure most of my audience aren't strangers to. It's taken me a little bit of time to get used to. We're getting back into the swing of things here though, after having not posted a project in nearly a year, but my posting itinerary will likely be announced and changed a lot just because that's the nature of a solo operation like this one. Winter is my busiest time at work, like many places I'm sure, and I'm hoping to get enough projects completed and banked in that time for that busy season so I can keep putting out quality content even though I'm busy. I felt really bad this last December when I couldn't do a bonus project, so imagine how I felt when I couldn't even do a regular project for that month. Regardless, this video isn't supposed to be a pity party, just an explanation of what I do and where I've been both to my new audience and returning audience, as I believe in complete transparency. I've got materials for 2 different lore videos that I'd potentially work on next, and they'd either be No Umbrellas Allowed or Monster Sanctuary. Still deciding on that. Maybe I'll just take a couple weeks to bank some playthroughs, or maybe I'll try and squeak something out for September. We'll have to see. For those who've stuck around through this update video, I'd like to announce what's coming to you members of the audience in the future. Firstly, I'd like to open up an avenue for my viewers to submit games they'd like to see me cover in either a playthrough or a project video. The problem I'm wanting solved with this are my recommendations for games are all over the place on my channel, so I end up missing or losing track of a lot of them, so I'd like to just get them all together in one place. The second thing I wanted to announce is a very special posting schedule I'd like to do once I hit 10,000 subscribers, as a 10,000 subscriber special, and I still kind of want to keep it under wraps in case it becomes too much work to be feasible, but let's just say it's called the Month of Dirk. Finally, I'd like to open up certain future projects to voting if I'm able to get that far enough ahead of my posting schedule, which would be really fun for you guys because you could see both what we have coming up in the future and use your opinion in ways to shape the future content you might see. Tangentially related, I'd like to start doing theme months for playthroughs to make them a little more interesting and fun for people who are into those, but we'll see what happens. Otherwise, that's it. No reason to make this video any longer than it needs to be. Welcome to my new community members, and thank you for the continued support to the people who have been following me over the years. Too long didn't read. I'm always working on something, but life gets in the way a lot. Patience gets rewarded eventually, and thank you everybody for your support. See you all soon. Later.